Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and we're back with part 2 or more flea market finds from Scott out in Southern California. So Scott is in the Los Angeles area. He frequents a lot of the flea markets that are out there, spent some time at some local tackle shops and stores, and well, uses the, I believe it's the Rose Bowl as part of where he finds the reels as well. So we're going to do more West Coast fishing reel flea market finds, easy enough to say, from Scott. And well, we'll talk about which ones will make it to video. And if you see one here that I don't plan to do as a video, well, I would ask you to just leave that in the comments section, letting me know that you'd like to see that reel. If time permits, I will try to do the video on that for you. So before we get started, if you like these kinds of videos, if you like to see how fishing reels are serviced, if you like to learn a little bit more about the history of fishing reels, if you just have a curiosity about about the channel, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please use the notification button. That'll let you know when I'm posting the videos, and well, you can make a decision as to whether that's one that you'd like to see. I work on all kinds of reels, spinning reels, conventional reels, and bait casters, and so on. I work on freshwater and saltwater, and just about anywhere a fish lives that there's a reel to catch. I do work on them, and the channel provides a diversity in those reels so that you can learn from them, and well, you can service your reels as well, old and new. All right, well, the first box that comes in looks like they're going to be pretty busy from Scott. Scott is well, we got a box of vintage reels here, so let's take a look at what we got and see where it goes. The first one is a Sears reel. Of course, Sears didn't make fishing reels. Sears had them made for them. This is a Japanese reel in manufacture. I'd put the manufacturer late 60s, early 70s. It reminds me body style-wise of a Carmen. I'm not sure if that's who the manufacturer is. This one is what I call grease choked. It's just full of old dried grease. How do I know that? Well, if you can't turn it, but everything's working on it, generally speaking, the old grease is turned to tar, and that tar is preventing it from operating efficiently. You know, there's an old thing that, I'm old. There's an old practice that we used to have in the surf reels, and that was overpack the cases with grease to waterproof them. That was always a wonderful idea as long as you remember the second part of it, which was change it. Well, a lot of times that grease doesn't get changed. Frequently what happens is, well, the angler who was using the reel either moved on to a different reel or stopped fishing or whatever, and of course over time the greases and the liquid in those greases evaporate, and the tar sets in, and then you have an example of that. Well, here's another one. This one is a compact Hornet. You know, the case is very similar. I'm going to have to do a little bit more work on these now. This one's similar to that Carmen that I was talking about as well. So compact stood for what the Commercial Pacific, I believe, is what that stood for, compact. It was a Japanese manufacturer, and this one's working nicely. And these were import reels, and we'll see. I don't think I've done that. I think, Scott, you're 2 for 2 there. Next up then we have a Winfield Spin Fisher. Isn't that interesting? 77. Why is that interesting? Well, what's the brand name behind Penn? Spin Fisher. So I'm just curious there. He asked me if I know anything of Winfield. Of course I don't, but we're going to find out. This one is Hong Kong. Now I got to go back in my memory bank and find out who was making reels in Hong Kong. I think at one point in time, South Bend had reels manufactured in Hong Kong. And well, that's a curiosity. We'll find out what we can do there. Well, he had a busy day at the flea market, and this is one of my favorite brands of all time. What's not to like about a Dam Quick? And Dam was Deutsche Angler Manufaktur, which meant German fishing manufacturer. This is the Quick 330. I know I've done the one on the 110. Not sure I've done the 330. This one's stuck in the middle. So stuck in the middle means you kind of go both ways with the reel and no click. If you move it to the one side of this, you have a forward right drive with an anti-reverse. If you move it to the other side, it's the opposite. Well, why in the world would you put an opposite there? Well, you wouldn't. You would take this handle and swap it to this side. It's not as easy as pulling 3 screws and putting it on the other side. You have to reverse the line guide mechanism and or the shaft and the like. It all has to be switched around to do it, but it can be done. And we have one more. We just did one of these, didn't we? We did a Wright and McGill, and this is an Eagle Claw reel. I don't remember if this was the exact version I just did. This is the 225. I'd have to go back and check. I think I also did it for Scott. So Wright and McGill, they were headquartered out in Colorado. Had the reels made for them. This one was made in Japan. And Wright and McGill designed fishing lures, hooks. That's what we still know today, right? Eagle Claw hooks. And the reels were a complement to that. I believe that Wright and McGill are the founders of Eagle Claw. All right, so that's box 1 of part 2. As I mentioned, he's been busy. This is box 2. If this video is running long, blame Scott. I'm always excited to see what he sends me. I do enjoy the diversity of the reels that he finds. And he's found some beauties. Okay, the first one up is a Penn Level-Matic. This is the 930. It's one of Penn's early attempts at a round bait caster. You won't find many round bait casters from Penn. This is one of them. Let's tighten this down, see what we got. So we have a problem here with the line guide drive. You can see that the spool is turning, but the line guide worm is not. That usually means that there's a broken idler gear in there, and I'm not sure if that part is available. So when you buy from flea markets, always test the reels, and if something is not working properly, make sure that you take in that consideration when you go evaluate it for pricing. This is a Shakespeare reel. This is a Wonder reel. And this is the 1922 Deluxe Model GE. Well, the GE, the 1922, is not the year this was made. G, secret decoder. G is the 4. E is 6. That makes all the sense in the world because, oh, that guy's screaming for some oil and grease. It makes sense that it's 1946 because Shakespeare was part of the war effort and curtailed a lot of their reel manufacturing during that part. I just learned something. I was talking to Mike, who was originally from Long Island, who went to move to Kalamazoo, and I asked him a little bit about the Shakespeare plant and what's there today and so on. He said the original Shakespeare plant happens to be a bar, but he's been able to find out a lot of the history behind Shakespeare while he's been out there. And one of the things he said that they made during the war was bullets. And interestingly enough, post-war, apparently they converted the empty bullet casings into fishing reel oilers. So if anybody finds a Shakespeare bullet oiler out there, you know the part of that. We have a Shakespeare Wondercast. This is the model 1774. And this one is an FC. Back to our date coding. F is the 5. C is 58. So Zebco had been at it for a while. And Zebco was introduced in 47, 48, somewhere in that area. This one is seized up. Maybe we'll take a look and see if we can fix that one for Scott. Well, Zebco's closed-face spin casting reel was so popular that it spawned a lot of competition. So you'll find all kinds of reels out there. Once everybody got the hang of it, you'll find the Heddens, you'll find the Johnsons, you'll find the like, and the genesis of all of that was Zebco. Here's another FG. The G is 4, so this is 1954. This is the Direct Drive by Shakespeare. This one's a lot quieter. The handles need some effort here. These are kind of frozen on. What happens is these either shrink or the pivot swells. But otherwise, this one's working nicely. We have a big spinning reel here. This one is one I've never heard of before. Shenandoah Emperor. This is a Japanese-made reel with a bail that's, well, it seems like the spring is there. These would be fun. I got to set time aside to see if I can do those as videos. Scott, you did good finding this stuff. 350 pen, Mitchell. I always want to get the two confused, and I do. High speed. I believe this one has the roller bearings inside of it. I have to do some more work on that one. I know I don't have a 350 in the library, so maybe we'll do this one as well. So a lot of folks look. They look identical. Here's a well, it's because they are identical. This is a 350 as well. I thought I had a 300 sitting there. Oh well. Find out what's going on with that one. We have a Damn Quick 91. This follows on to the other one. This is a later version of the reel. Not sure why our handle isn't tight. I haven't done that. Scott, thank you. You found all kinds of wonderful and interesting reels in this pass. We just gave me the one on the other preview, the B400. Here's the B130, almost identical in terms of the mechanical pieces of that. I like these reels. They're relatively inexpensive. They're well designed. They're Iowas, and they work. And just as we were saying before about histories of reels, so here's an interesting one. Does this look like the spin that we just did? It certainly does. Why is that? Well, Shakespeare made reels for South Bend. There you go. A little bit of difference? Maybe. Look at the side plates. What's different about the reel? The color. The color and the name on the reel. So these are both the same reels. Interesting observation. Fun to find. Thank you, Scott. So I hope you've enjoyed all of those. If there's a reel here you want to see, look, we got two of these that are frozen. they're more than just made by the same, they're broken by the same. So we'll do our best to get those things out as videos to you. Scott, thank you again for sending these in and providing a lot of the fodder from my channel and a lot for all of us to learn from, which is kind of what Second Chance Tackle is all about, right? It's about learning how the reels come together, how they come apart, how they get serviced, and how to keep them functioning for a long time to come. I hope you've enjoyed that. To our first responders and essential personnel, thank you for all it is that you do to stay safe. Your efforts truly are appreciated. And to everybody, well, go out there and explore. Stay curious. Find some reels out there that, well, don't cost much and enable you to go ahead and just tear them apart, get in underneath them, and understand how they're made and how to keep them running, giving them a second chance. To everyone, have a great day. Enjoy the art of fishing and fishing reel repair. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.